This is the Galaxy S7. At first glance, it does look just like the Galaxy S6. It even shares the same fingerprint magnet capabilities that the S6 has on the back. However, let's take a closer look. The curved back of the Galaxy S7 may look a little familiar to you. That's because Samsung borrowed that design language from the Galaxy Note 5. What this does is just allows the phone to fit snug in your hand. It just feels great. So the back of the device is curved, but did you know the regular S7 is also curved on the front? The S7 has something called a 2.5D display. That means that the display is slightly curved all the way around. It's so slight, in fact, you may not even notice it right away. Some people may not notice it at all. However, in certain lighting, it becomes a lot more apparent where you can see the curved nature of the glass. Now what this does, this isn't to improve aesthetics, it's to improve usability. Now we all know the Android operating system, you love to swipe, left and right, you pull out menus, and this makes it an amazing experience. This phone feels amazing in the hand. The weight is awesome. It's just, when I pull it out of my pocket every day, I almost want to smile because it just feels that good. And no, Samsung is not paying me to use that. Coming from the original Nexus 6 and the LG V10, I've just been accustomed to large devices. And when I didn't realize, they were just so uncomfortable to use. I do have small hands, so this may be different for different people, but once I picked up the Galaxy S7, the 5.1-inch display is what I've been needing in my life. It's just so comfortable. It's very easy to use with one hand. I mean, you will have to adjust it every now and then. You can't reach every single corner, but for most things, you can type one-handed, you can scroll one-handed. You should be able to touch pretty much any icon on your phone one-handed. It's just an awesome experience. So if you're kind of like growing old of a really big phone, maybe consider the Galaxy S7 because it's no compromises, it's a flagship device, but it still is a little bit more compact than most these days. So let's talk about the camera. The camera is one of the most hyped aspects of this device, and I'm going to tell you that's not without reason. So first, looking at the camera, you can tell that the hump has been greatly reduced since the Galaxy S6. Now this is due to Samsung actually increasing the width of the Galaxy S7 by 1 millimeter, which I applaud them on. There is no need to have some race to the thinnest smartphone ever. Make it look good, make the battery last a long time. Just make it make sense, and then people will enjoy it. And the flash and the sensors next to the camera module, just keep in mind that that is actually made out of plastic. It's going to scratch a lot easier than the Gorilla Glass on the camera. So just keep that in mind. Don't get any keys near it. Don't put it near anything that could potentially scratch it. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal because, scratches aren't going to affect a flash or anything like that. So just take that with a grain of salt. But just make sure the salt isn't next to the flash because it will scratch it. Bad joke. Okay, so as you may already know, I'm in love with the redesigned camera as far as it being slimmed down, not a huge hump. But how about the actual performance of the camera? This will not disappoint you either. The video is where it really shines to me. You press record, you walk around, the optical image stabilization on this camera is top notch. You would almost think you have it on a stabilizer, how smooth it is. And then the autofocus. The autofocus is a whole nother beast. Samsung has a 12, what they call dual pixel camera. And this allows the camera to focus really quickly. You walk up to an object and by the time you've walked up to it, it's in focus. It's not gonna work perfect every single time, but it impresses me like no other. Like I wish my DSLR focused like that. Okay, and let's rewind a little bit. You may have heard me say that this camera is 12 megapixel. And you're thinking, okay, wait. The Galaxy S6 was 16. What's the downgrade there for? Now, 12 megapixels doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. These megapixels can capture more data. they are better in low light situations. So that's where we're good there. And just think about it. 12 megapixels to 16 megapixels. Are you blowing up the pictures that you're taking with your smartphone? No. And if you are, you need to be buying a dedicated camera. You're putting your photos on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So 12 megapixels is perfect. You care more about the quality, and this camera is there. It's amazing. And I did take a lot of pictures with this phone, so I'll upload a few of those, and I'll put them in the description box below so you can see them in, full quality. You can click on them, zoom in, check out all the pixels if you want to. So all of those features are basically qualities that the Galaxy S7 improved upon the S6. However, did you know that the Galaxy S7 also borrowed some qualities from the Galaxy S5? Now these two features would be water resistance and micro SD card support. Both of those things are back and better than ever. First of all, the water resistance. This device is water resistant to IP68 certification. So what that means, you can take this device down to 5 feet for 30 minutes and know it's going to be A-OK. And I even tested it out in my fish tank where I dunked it in there for 90 minutes and it's still working like a champ. And I'll link to that in the description below too. Check that out after you're done watching this video. And it's also important to note the water resistance does not require any type of plugs or anything like that to put on the charging port or the headphone jack. It's all good. Just make sure once you're done with your water activities that you let the phone dry out. Don't try to plug it in right away, or you could risk shorting your device. And Samsung ditched the SD card support when they went from the S5 to the S6 because they implemented the unibody design, which in most cases would be pretty much impossible to put an SD card into because you can't pop the back off. However, they implemented a basically dual SIM card slot where you have a spot for your SIM card and then a spot for the SD card. So now you get the best of both worlds. You get the SD card expansion, but then you also have the sexiness of the unibody design. So kudos to Samsung for actually listening to its consumers about what they wanted. The Galaxy S7 comes with Android 6.0.1, which is great because 6.0 was a little buggy, had some battery drain issues, so 6.0.1 improves that, but then also has the benefit of having doze. And if you're not aware what doze is, it basically puts your phone on a low energy state when you're not using it. So if you forget to plug it in overnight, you would see your battery bar go like this, like very slightly go down. Not iPad or iPhone worthy, but still pretty good. And another cool feature that this device has that I get it, not everybody would use, but it's really cool. It's an always on display. And we've seen that in Motorola devices and other devices as well. However, what I kind of like about this, Samsung allows you to personalize it. You can add calendars, you can add color, you can add images even. But one thing I do notice that they have not allowed yet, you can't see your notifications. You know if you have a text message or something, but you can't read it. So that's a welcome update coming, which I hope they do come out with. And last but not least, one of the best features about the Galaxy S7 is that it supports Gear VR. Now the Gear VR was out before. It was even out when the Galaxy Note 4 was out in the Enthusiast Edition. But I really think that the Galaxy S7 is bringing VR to the masses. Everyone that pre-ordered a Galaxy S7 is getting a Gear VR, so they're probably going to experience Gear VR for the first time. Even if you check out Google Trends, you can see that search activity for the Gear VR has spiked since the launch of the Galaxy S7. Even those that pre-order the Galaxy S7 get 6 free games with the Gear VR. So that's really just going to spike interest and potentially increase more activity in the whole Oculus ecosystem. And while I do realize the Gear VR isn't the best virtual reality experience you could get on the market, it's probably the one that most people are going to see. And this could really just push it along. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps my channel grow, it helps this video grow, it helps me overall do a lot better on YouTube. And if you really enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you know the next time I make a new video. And like I mentioned, I put some links in the description below. I'm going to be linking to some images that I took with the Galaxy S7, and then also a link to my waterproof test with the Galaxy S7 as well. So all those will be down there, next to the subscribe button, next to the like button. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.